Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and today I'm just be officially updating you on some more current transfer rumours and gossip, giving you the latest news of course of what players are linked with Manchester United and all that. So there is lots to negotiate on this video today, but the first topic of the development I'm going to give you an update on is in regards to Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax, as of course I have been updating you on a regular basis and all that, and I give you a lot of news about Matthijs de Ligt last week, but more additional information now has updated about him. So I think Matthijs de Ligt's agent, Mini Raiola, has confirmed. I think he did confirm yesterday that Matthijs de Ligt has agreed personal terms with Juventus. It also says, according to the media, that reportedly Juventus have agreed a 5-year deal with Matthijs de Ligt with around £10.7 million a season. But obviously it's still indicated out in the media that no fee has yet come to an agreement, between Juventus and Ajax. So I do believe talks are still ongoing, between Juventus and Ajax over coming to an agreement on a fee. Obviously, reports suggested out, I think last week, saying that Juventus had put their first formal offer in for Matthijs de Ligt, and it did say, Juventus had offered around £50 million, including add-ons, which did potentially rise the offer to around 58 or 59 million pounds. But obviously, Ajax, didn't entertain this offer, and I think they did, currently turn this offer down, because obviously, this is too insufficient for Ajax, because I do believe Ajax are looking for somewhere in the region of around at least £67 million if they do offload Matthijs de Ligt. But I think Matthijs de Ligt, his actual preference is a move to Juventus, so he's keen on making the move to Juventus. And Matthijs de Ligt's agent Mini Raiola has basically suggested out that Matthijs de Ligt wants to make the move to Juventus this summer. Obviously, reports indicated out earlier on this month anywhere that it said allegedly that Matthijs de Ligt had agreed the personal terms with Juventus, but it did say that talks had hit a stumbling block, between Juventus and Ajax over the fee. So it's still indicated out that no fee has yet, come to an agreement. We do know, obviously, Matthijs de Ligt has been subject to a lot of transfer speculation. We do know he's been widely spoken about throughout the course of this window, and we do know it's been very imminent, of course, that he's currently, going to be leaving Ajax, and we didn't know for a very long time, where he would be applying his trade next season. But I do believe now Matthijs de Ligt is keen on playing under Maurizio Sarri's guidance, of course, at Juventus and all that. So I think he's agreed the contract, he's agreed the personal terms according to his agent, but obviously no fee has yet come to an agreement. I still believe Manchester United are in there for Matthijs de Ligt, because obviously we're in search for centre half. We need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line, because obviously we have got issues defensively. Obviously that was proven last season, because we conceded 54 goals in the Premier League last season in 38 Premier League games. Obviously that's our highest total of course in 40 years. So that just indicates how the issues of course that we have got defensively, and obviously we've got to get a central defender in. We also need to get a couple of new additions in that midfield, and we also need to get right winners. So these are still lots to address in the squad, and for quite a long time Matthijs de Ligt, of course, was one of our main priority targets and all that. But I still believe we are in there for him, because according to the Manchester Evening News, he did say we could consider hijacking Matthijs de Ligt's proposed move to Juventus by coming up with a later bid and all that. PSG of course are still in there for him. I still believe that Barcelona and that are in there for him, but reports suggest out last week, like I did currently update you on, and reports did say last week that reportedly this was actually stemming from a French journalist called Julien Lons, and he basically said that Manchester United and also PSG had an agreement in place with Ajax for Matthijs de Ligt, and it did indicate out saying that Manchester United were willing to meet Ajax's asking price, and I think it also said that PSG were willing to meet Ajax's asking price and all that. But reflecting back, was it a month or so ago, we do know that for a very long time Barcelona were considered the favourites to sign Matthijs de Ligt, and I do believe at one point that Matthijs de Ligt's preference was actually to make a move to Barcelona, because he was probably keen on reuniting with his current teammate Frankie de Jong and all that. Liverpool were in for him at one point, also Manchester City were in for him at one point. Obviously I do believe Bayern Munich were in for him at one point, but they'd withdrawn their interest. But Barcelona obviously couldn't come to an agreement on the terms. You know, even some reports were speculating, you know, reflecting a while back, some reports were, you know, were saying basically, you know, that a transfer fee had been agreed, you know, between Barcelona and Ajax and all that, but obviously they couldn't come to an agreement on the terms because Barcelona were not willing to meet what, you know, Ligt was demanding. They was also not willing to meet what his agent Mino Raiola was demanding. So I still believe that Barcelona, you know, are still, you know, currently in there for him. But I do believe Matty Ligt, you know, wants to join a club that can offer him Champions League football, and obviously Manchester United can't offer him Champions League football. I do believe anywhere that Matty Ligt doesn't want to make the move to Manchester United, even though we're still allegedly in for him. And obviously he wants to go to a club that can assure him first team football. And Manchester United, you know, would be able to assure Matty Ligt, you know, first team football and all that. And I do believe, you know, he would help us with our rebuilding project. And I think Matty Ligt is definitely, you know, regarded as one of the best centre halves in the world. And I do believe in the next 2 to 3 years as he develops and all that, I do believe he can, you know, emulate into like a Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool and all that. But only very, very young, you know, 19 years of age. And I do believe that, you know, he would perfectly, you know, fit Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's, you know, transfer strategy, you know, perfectly. Obviously, so far, Matty Ligt has spent the entirety of his career with Ajax. Obviously, you know, he's been an Ajax player since the age of 8, the age of 9, you know, grown, developed and all that, you know, progressing up the ranks. And, you know, he made his senior debut for Ajax in 2016, and all that. And, you know, since that point, he has become an integral part of Ajax's squad. I think he's made 117 appearances for them in all competitions. I think he made his debut for the Netherlands national team at just the age of 17. I think he got named the captain of Ajax at the age of 18. I think he's also the only defender as well to win the Golden Boy Award. Obviously, you know, he did win this last year, and obviously enjoyed a great season with Ajax last season. You know, winning domestic double with them for the first time in 17 years. Ajax won that, by the way. You know, they won the Eredivisie title for the first time since 2014, and also, you know, progressed to Champions League semi-final. So Matty Ligt, you know, can't leave Ajax, you know, with his head held up high. I do believe Manchester United, I think, have contacted his agent, you know, Mino Raiola, because they're looking at it, it's looking like, you know, Paul Pogba is going to be leaving Manchester United, and, you know, looking at it, you know, Matty Ligt has obviously, you know, got the same agent as Paul Pogba, and we may have said, you know, to maybe, you know, we may have said, you know, to Raiola, you know, we'll let Paul Pogba go, of course, you know, if he can try and get, you know, the move to Manchester United and all that. We might have said something like that. But I just don't think, you know, Ligt's going to come to Manchester United. I think he'll probably end up making the move to Juventus and all that. But a lot of reports came out last week, you know, said we had an agreement in place, you know, with Ajax for Matty Ligt and all that. So I still think we are considering hijacking his move to Juventus, but I don't think, you know, this is currently going to work. So probably Juventus will probably increase their offer so they can get the deal over the line. Maybe they won't increase the offer. Maybe they don't want to pay, you know, what Ajax, you know, are currently demanding. I'm not too sure, to be quite honest, but it has been subjected to a hell of a lot of transfer speculation. I do believe we need at least one central defender. You know, some Manchester United fans have said, you know, we need 2 central defenders, but we need someone that can go alongside Victor Lindelof in our back line. But reflecting back last summer, you know, our priority was to get a central defender in, but obviously with going back last summer under Jose Mourinho era, obviously, you know, the board weren't back in the signings that Jose Mourinho, of course, wanted to recommend to come in. So I think we've got to get at least one central defender in. Like I said, we've obviously got 2 players so far on the board this summer. Obviously, you know, we've got Daniel James for 18 million. We've got Anwan Bissaka in a deal with around 50 million pounds. So it's taken our net spend up to around 65 million pounds so far this summer on 2 players. Obviously, it's our first 2 players under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. But obviously now Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will want to build on this, and he will want to bring at least 3 more new additions to the squad. And Solskjaer's priorities now will be to get an experienced centre half in, because he wants an experienced centre half in, and he'll also want to add reinforcements in that midfield. And I think it's still, even if Paul Pogba was to stay at the football club, I still think it's initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans anywhere, you know, to add 2 new additions, of course, in that midfield. I think we need to focus now on selling players, because I think we need to generate funds, you know, to help us rebuild the squad. Because don't forget, we've allegedly, you know, only been given around 100 million pounds to spend. Even though I thought initially, you know, we'd been given around 200 million pounds to spend, but we do need to revitalise the squad and all that. And there's still lots, you know, of key areas in the squad, you know, that does, of course, need to be currently addressed. But you do know that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer believes he's following a policy, you know, that did prove successful, of course, under Alex Ferguson, because obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's policy is getting the pursuit, of course, of young players. But Solskjaer did say a couple of months ago, you know, he wants to bring at least 5 new additions to Manchester United and all that. This is what, you know, he basically said. But I do believe our expectations going on to this season probably will be to finish in the top 4. I do believe our aspirations in the next couple of seasons, you know, will be that top 4. But we definitely, like I said, we've got to see vast improvements going on to this season, because last season was disappointing. You know, we finished 6th. You know, we didn't win any silverware last season. We haven't won any silverware in the past couple of seasons, but at the moment, City strides ahead of us. Obviously, you know, Liverpool and that are strides ahead of us. So it's very imperative, you know, that we catch up over the likes of Manchester City and Liverpool and all that. But like I said, you know, still lots to address in the squad. You know, quite a few people said, you know, we should be sensible with our recruitment this summer. And you know, I think we actually are moving away from the policy, you know, of signing them well-established players. Obviously, we do know Valencia's left the club. Obviously, after he served 10 years with Manchester United, obviously it was good business for Manchester United getting Wan-Bissaka in as Valencia's replacement. We know Ander Herrera, of course, has left on a free transfer, so we're obviously going to have to get an adequate replacement for him. Darwin and Rojo, I do believe, you know, they need to leave the football club because obviously, you know, they're too inconsistent and both players have endured difficult times at the club. Darwin really hasn't been given the chance, and I think with Marcus Rojo, you know, his Manchester United career has been mainly affected, you know, the amount of injuries he has sustained. Like I said, with Sanchez, I'm still very sceptical about him leaving at the moment, you know, based on his substantial wages, so the club are finding it very difficult to get rid of Sanchez. I think, you know, if we sell Pogba, if we sell Lukaku, I think that's going to help us with our rebuilding process and our transition, because I think we can generate around, what, £200 million for their departures, because obviously Paul Pogba and Romelu Lukaku have both been relentlessly linked to a move away from the club, and obviously, you know, they are our two most expensive signings and all that. So like I said, there is still lots to address in the squad, and I did initially say, didn't I, last week, I wanted Manchester United, you know, to get 2 signings on the board. Obviously, you know, my hopes went out the window. Solskjaer, I did initially say before I went on pre-season, so I wanted to get at least one more signing on the board, but again, obviously, you know, his hopes went out of the club window. But like I said, it's going to be hard for us to get the players we want, because obviously we're not in Champions League football, and Champions League football is always very pivotal. Like I said, when you want to get your number one target, it's also going to be hard for us, you know, to convince our imperative, you know, players to stay at the football club and all that. But like I said, we have been a toxic club for the last 5 or 6 years, and the main factor reason why we have been a toxic club, because obviously, you know, we've been mismanaged. Obviously, you know, this is the main factor reason, you know, why we have been underachieving and all that. We've had different managers with different philosophies. A hell of a lot of money has been invested into the club. Has been invested into the club, so hopefully Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, has got the stature, you know, to get us in that commanding position, and hopefully he can bring the right players into Manchester United, you know, who can elevate Manchester United forward. But I hope it works out under him. Like I said, regardless of who our manager is, you know, we're never going to be the team was under Ferguson. You know, we're never going to follow the Alex Ferguson's legacy. We're never going to, you know, achieve of what we achieved under Alex Ferguson for 20 odd years of success. That's something we've got to work in the accept. But we just want to be back, you know, to being a competitive elite level of football club. So we haven't won much silverware anyway, you know, since, you know, 2013. You know, we haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Obviously, that came in Alex Ferguson's last season. You know, we didn't win out under David Moyes' era. You know, won the FA Cup under Louis van Gaal era. Obviously, won the League Cup and the Europa League under Jose Mourinho in Jose Mourinho's first season and all that. But yeah, you know, I have been frustrated with lack of competitiveness in the last 5 or 6 years. But yeah, hopefully, you know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, can quickly take us forward. And like I said, he was a great player for Manchester United for 11 years under Alex Ferguson. He's actually, you know, following Alex Ferguson's philosophy, you know, which is very, very good. But he has got a bit of experience as a manager, as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you know, not really to the highest level, but he has got a bit of experience. You know, he did win a couple of Norwegian titles with Mold. But I would give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least a year, you know, to see how things can work out. But like I said, you know, we haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers, because obviously we've already sacked 3 managers, of course, since Alex Ferguson currently retired and all that. Want to give you a bit of additional information in regards to Bruno Fernandes from Sporting Lisbon. Of course, he has been one of our priority targets, and he has been on our agenda, you know, for quite some time. And I think it's very imperative that Manchester United can get a deal over the line for him. I think it will be fantastic business from the club, you know, if we can get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, because I do believe he will be a fantastic signing for the club and all that. He will dramatically improve us in that midfield. He'll rejuvenate the team. He'll bring us them goals that we need in that midfield. He'll add that creativeness in that midfield. But I did say Bruno Fernandes' move is not Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United is not dependent on what happens with Paul Pogba. So regardless of what happens with Paul Pogba, I think Manchester United, you know, still want to recommend Bruno Fernandes to come in. Obviously, a lot of reports reflected out last week, I think it was last Monday, saying that reportedly, you know, we'd held talks with Bruno Fernandes' representatives and all that, and it reportedly says now that Manchester United have agreed to personal terms with Bruno Fernandes. I think also Bruno Fernandes has agreed around £100,000 a week contract term and all that, but obviously, you know, no fee has yet, you know, come to an agreement, and I do believe the fee is the stumbling block at the moment, because I think Sporting Lisbon have said, they want around £53 million. Manchester United only want to pay around £32 million. So the fee is the stumbling block at this present time. And I do believe Manchester United will hold more talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent over coming to an agreement on a fee. Obviously, reports are reflected out last week saying that allegedly, Bruno Fernandes' agent had travelled to the UK to allegedly, thrash out a deal with Manchester United for his client and all that. So basically, his agent is looking for the best possible deal, for his current client. I think the Sporting Lisbon president. Sporting Lisbon president, did confirm that Sporting Lisbon are willing to offload him for around £53 million. Around £53 million. So I basically, I just believe, we should just pay what Sporting Lisbon, of course, are currently demanding. Sporting Lisbon's president, did basically say there has been talks with Bruno Fernandes in regards to his future and all that, but I do believe Bruno Fernandes wants to make the move to Manchester United. Reports did say last week that Bruno Fernandes is seduced by Manchester United's offer and all that, because reportedly we've offered him around from between 4.5 million to 5.3 million a season in wages, and Bruno Fernandes has been seduced by this offer. Obviously, reports came out the other week saying that reportedly said Manchester United are only in the running to sign Bruno Fernandes, because it did say Liverpool and Tottenham had withdrawn their interest. I still believe Liverpool and Tottenham are in there for him, and I do believe them two have also held their talks with Bruno Fernandes' agent. Reflecting back about 6 or 7 weeks ago, it was looking like the Manchester City were going to get a deal concluded for Bruno Fernandes, but obviously it confirmed that Man City had currently withdrawn their interest. So I do believe we've been considered the favourites to sign the player at least for the last 3 to 4 weeks, according to Ebola, the Portuguese press. But I think Bruno Fernandes' agent is allegedly set to fly to Manchester, I think, on Wednesday, to hold a negotiation with Manchester United over coming to an agreement on a fee. Primarily an attacking midfielder, only 24 years of age, under contract with Sporting Lisbon until 2023, signed, I think, a 5-year deal last summer, and obviously I think his initial release clause is around £88 million. But obviously Manchester United have confirmed we're not willing to go anywhere near that figure, of course. But he's been at Sporting Lisbon a couple of seasons, exceeded expectation levels. He scored 32 goals in 50 games last season for Sporting Lisbon. Obviously spent the majority of his career in Italy, when he was younger, the likes of Sampdoria, Udinese and Novia. So hopefully Bruno Fernandes' move to Manchester United, can be made official this week. And I just believe, we should just pay what they're demanding. Look what we did last summer. We paid £50 million for Fred. We paid £50 million for Fred, and obviously you can't put Fred in Bruno Fernandes' calibre or level. And Fred hasn't got a fantastic pedigree. He was a fundamental player at Shakhtar Donetsk, but he hasn't really replicated this at Manchester United. So I think Bruno Fernandes is the type of player that Manchester United do need. But I think his preference is actually a move to Manchester United, because him coming to the Premier League, it's going to rejuvenate his career. Of course, it's going to take his footballing career to the next level. And Liverpool and that can offer him Champions League football and all that. And I think if he did go to Liverpool, he would fit their system well. Obviously Tottenham can offer him Champions League football, but I still believe he's keen on making a move to Manchester United, because he did say he's attracted to the history and mystique of the club. And I think he said the other week that he favours a move to Manchester United over Tottenham. So I think Bruno Fernandes has been satisfied, with our contract offer and all that, and he's desperate on making a move to Manchester United. But at the moment, the fee, seems to be the stumbling block. The personal terms have been agreed, and the contract term, of course, has been agreed and all that. So that's the latest news about Bruno Fernandes. Obviously, as I've been updating you on a regular basis as well, like I said, we definitely need to get a central defender in. Obviously, I've just given you the latest news about Matisse de Ligt and all that. And some people have said, we need two central defenders. But like I said, I think now we've actually identified Harry Maguire as our number one defensive target. I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is keen on, recommending him and all that, because reports reflected out last week saying that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer asked the British players in our squad about, their thoughts on Harry Maguire. And I think, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, did get good remarks back. Now, I do believe he's identified him as his number one defensive target. I do believe now we are in the clear, to sign Harry Maguire, because it has been Manchester United and Manchester City battling out, of course, for his services. Obviously, Sky Sports did report out last week. They basically said, that Manchester United had put a £70 million bid in for him. So obviously, we'd upped our initial offer. Obviously, this was too insufficient for Leicester, because Leicester want somewhere in the region of around £85 million. Probably Manchester United are willing to pay what Leicester are demanding. So we can't get a deal over the line for him and all that. It did say in Sky Sports last week that talks have been ongoing, between both Manchester clubs and Leicester, for several weeks. But obviously, no deal or no fee as yet, come to any kind of agreement and all that. But I think Mike Phelan has instructed Manchester United, to get a deal completed for Harry Maguire, because obviously, Harry Maguire has played under Mike Phelan's guidance, during his time with Hull. Mike Phelan only had a short tenure with Hull, but he's still manager Harry Maguire, so I think he's keen on recommending him in. Also, Sir Alex Ferguson did say, he wants Manchester United, of course, to sign Harry Maguire. But I do believe we are now in pole position to signing, because reports have now said Manchester City have pulled out of the race, because obviously, Manchester City are not willing to meet, what Leicester are currently demanding for the player. So they're not willing to meet Leicester's asking price. So now City, of course, have dropped out of the race for the player. Even though it confirmed a couple of weeks ago, it was looking very likely he was going to be signing for Manchester City, and it did say Harry Maguire's preference is a move to Manchester City, and you couldn't understand why, because obviously, City are the dominant force in England at the moment. Obviously, they won domestic treble last season. Obviously, they're in Champions League football and all that, and he probably does believe he'll flourish under Pep Guardiola's guidance, Harry Maguire. But yeah, but it has been his preference. It did say he was set to sign for Manchester City for a world record fee of £80 million, which would obviously make him the most expensive defender in world football, ahead of Liverpool's Virgil van Dijk, who of course Liverpool paid £75 million for. And he did say reportedly City were willing to offer him around 280 grand a week. That's the salary Manchester City were willing to offer him. But it did confirm that talks had hit a stumbling block between City and Leicester, based on the fee, because City are not willing to meet what Leicester of course are demanding. But looking at ultimately, Leicester don't want to sell Harry Maguire, and this is of course the main factor is why they've priced him out of the transfer market. This is why they are demanding an extortionate amount, because Leicester don't want to sell him, because they know how much an imperative player he is. But I think Harry Maguire has informed Leicester, that he does currently want to leave. And I think he did come out the other week saying that reportedly, we'd ended our interest, because Leicester said they wanted around £100 million. He said they wanted 90 million up front, with 10 million in add-ons. So he allegedly said, we'd currently ended our interest. But he has, been widely spoken about. It did say Arsenal had inquired about his services the other week. Obviously, they'd offered around £50 million, but obviously this is way too insufficient for Leicester. And obviously Arsenal have obviously got problems themselves. Obviously they've got a tight budget this summer. They've only got around 40 or 45 million pounds to spend. So obviously Arsenal are going to they've got quite a few players on their agenda, but obviously Arsenal are going to have to offload quite a few of their essential players, to help them generate funds and of course rebuild their squad and all that. But I like Harry Maguire a lot. Very, very good defender. Shows that ability to play out from the back. Shows his distribution's good. He's very, very good in the air. Very, very good central defender. And I think he's regarded as one of the best centre halves in the Premier League. I won't put him in Van Dijk's calibre or level, but I do believe he's definitely one of the best centre halves in the Premier League. Is Harry Maguire, and plus he's British, and obviously Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to recruit British talent to Manchester United this summer, and only 26 years of age, and still got a hell of a lot of development in him. But I do believe Harry Maguire did indicate out he wants to go to one of the top 6 clubs. Harry Maguire's been at Leicester a couple of seasons. Obviously, he's made 76 appearances for them in all competitions. 69 of those appearances have come in the Premier League, and signed a new long-term contract with Leicester last summer until 2023 and all that. So he's done the contract with them until 2023. Leicester did pay around £17 million for his services from Hull. He isn't very fast, Harry Maguire, but I don't think that's an issue and all that. And I do believe he would blend in alongside Victor Lindelof in our backline, fantastically well. And of course, he's Premier League proven, which is very, very beneficial. So hopefully, we can get him a deal over the line for him. But like I said, some people said, we need 2 central defenders, because obviously Smalling and Jones are not good enough for Manchester United. They're no longer good enough to represent Manchester United. They've been 2 long-serving players at the club. Smalling's been here 9 years, Jones has been here 8 years, and they have demonstrated, the number of years they have been here, that they can play well, they can hold the line and all that, but they are just far too inconsistent now. And it was bad business for Manchester United, giving them 2 new long-term contracts. People have said maybe just get 1 central defender in, because obviously we've got Eric Bailly and all that, and Eric Bailly is a very imperative player for Manchester United, and he has got a great potential and all that. And but I think Eric Bailly's career at Manchester United now has been mainly affected, the amount of injuries he has sustained, so he has become injury prone. Also, he's had a bad fallout with managers and all that. So I think this is taking its toll on Eric Bailly. If I'm going to be quite honest with you, I think he has been it has been circulating around the media saying, you know, Arsenal have inquired about his services, you know, quite a few times throughout the course of this window and all that. Maybe Manchester United, would be open to selling, but I think we'd probably look to recoup the initial £30 million, you know, that we did pay from Villarreal back in 2016 and all. So in my opinion, I think we need at least one central defender. But I've heard some people saying it's actually more essential that we actually get you know, a couple of new additions in that midfield and a right winger. So probably some people think that's more essential than getting a central defender in. But we've definitely got to get a central defender in, you know, because we've definitely got issues defensively. And, you know, we haven't had a world class central defender, you know, since we had the likes of Vidic and Fernandes and all that. So yeah, we've got to get a world-class central defender in. I think Koulibaly is definitely now out of the equation now. He's definitely out of the equation because I think Napoli now are reluctant, you know, to sell him. Like I've been updating you about, I see Diop on a regular basis from West Ham. I think we have emerged him now as a priority target. I see Diop, of course, is Premier League proven. Obviously, you know, last season was his first season in the Premier League with West Ham. I think he played 38 games for West Ham in all competitions. He allegedly said last month that reportedly Manchester United had made a player plus cash offer. So he did say we'd offered £45 million plus Phil Jones as part of the deal. But obviously, West Ham didn't entertain this offer and they instantly turned this offer down. But we have been in for Diop at least in the last couple of weeks. I think West Ham are reluctant to offload him. I think, you know, West Ham do want in the excess of around £60 million if they're willing to do any business with a player. But I was reading reports last week and it did say we are preparing to put our first formal offer in for Diop, and it did say, you know, we're willing to offer around £45 million for his services. He is very, very tall, which is very beneficial. He's 6'4". I do presume then he's very, very good in the air. He's a good athlete. I think he holds his line well. He's got 4 years left in his contract with West Ham. Obviously, West Ham got him last summer from Toulouse for around £22 million. So also, you know, he's been on Manchester United's agenda. So there has been so many central defenders on our current agenda. But I do believe what reports I was reading last week, now we've identified Harry Maguire as our number one defensive target. Like I said, we've definitely got to get a replacement for Herrera in that midfield. Obviously, we've got to get a replacement for Paul Pogba and all that. I've obviously not been given the latest news about Paul Pogba on a regular basis, as you all know. Obviously, we do know that Paul Pogba was absent from pre-season training last week and all that. Obviously, it did get confirmed. I think it was in BBC Sport that Paul Pogba has travelled with the rest of the squad for our 4-match 18-day pre-season tour of Australia, Singapore and China. And I think Real Madrid have actually informed Paul Pogba to actually go on tour. But we do know Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola, did confirm on Friday of last week. He'd obviously confirmed that Paul Pogba is in the process of leaving Manchester United. Obviously, Paul Pogba, he actually stressed out last month that Paul Pogba is seeking for a new challenge. He publicly admitted that he wants to leave Manchester United for the first time, and I think he's willing to submit a transfer request in. I think it did say he's set to hold talks with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and all that, in regards to his future. But due to his absence from pre-season training last week, I think that's obviously added more speculation in regards to Paul Pogba's long-term future. But I think Paul Pogba's blatantly made it clear, that he does want to leave Manchester United. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, he's actually tried doing everything he can, to try and convince him to remain at the football club, because obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how much of an imperative player he is. I think it was initially in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's plans, to actually build a side around Paul Pogba. But maybe the couple of main factor reasons why Paul Pogba wants to leave the football club, because maybe he wants to be playing amongst better players, maybe he wants to be in Champions League. What are you doing?
I've just got a bathroom to back. I've cleaned out windows and all, bath, sink, everything. Alright, so you can get showered. It's 12 o'clock, it's just on after. Alright. I've told Mark's looked at UNICEF, what she did overnight. He went, she's a fucking crank. Yeah. He went, she's a fucking crank, ignore her. And I went, she was sent to Charlotte, it's disgusting, she didn't get out. And he went, she did get something. Yeah. My dad paid for Artona's funeral, so what's she on about? She's a fucking fat cunt, isn't she?
Where? Yeah, so sorry about that, just talking. Initially, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer plans, to build a side around Paul Pogba and all that. But basically, like I said, that's the couple of main factors why he wants to leave, because obviously, we're not in Champions League football. He wants to be playing amongst better players, and he isn't playing amongst good enough players at Manchester United and all that. But we do know it's Real Madrid and Juventus that are battling out for his services. I do believe Paul Pogba's first choice preference, of course, is Real Madrid, and I do believe his likely destination has been Real Madrid, for quite some time. Obviously, Juventus have stepped up their interest at least in the last couple of weeks and all that. You know, Juventus have held negotiations with Paul Pogba's agent, Mini Raiola. But like I said, more than likely Juventus, you know, would have to offload one or two of their central players to fund the move for Paul Pogba, because I don't think they'd be able to, you know, afford him outright. Because obviously, you know, we have put a huge asking price on Paul Pogba, because we said we would accept a bid in the region of around 150 million. Obviously, you know, we've indicated that it's not for sale, but it did say, you know, would accept a bid in the region of around 150 million. And even though Paul Pogba hasn't been the fundamental player as we all thought he would have been, you know, I still say in this market, this day and age, he's worth in the region of around 140 or 150 million pounds and all that. Obviously, Real Madrid are not willing to pay up to 150 million pounds for Paul Pogba, so I think actually Real Madrid are, you know, desperate, you know, to include Gareth Bale in their bid to sign Paul Pogba. He initially said last week that Real Madrid were willing to offer 72 million pounds and Gareth Bale or Isco in exchange for Paul Pogba. So he did say they were going to give us the choice between Bale and Isco, plus they was going to offer us 72 million pounds. But obviously, you know, Manchester United, you know, weren't interested in going along with this current deal. But Real Madrid have confirmed they're not keen on a straight cash payment. But so far, you know, this summer Real Madrid have done really, really good business. You know, they've got 5 players on the board. You know, they've spent over 300 million pounds. They've spent over 300 million pounds. Obviously, the vast majority of that, of course, went on Eden Hazard for 150 million. So they're doing good. They've done good business so far this summer. With Juventus, they've also done good business. Like I said, you know, they've got Aaron Ramsey on the board. They've got Adrian Rabiot on the board. Looking likely, you know, they're going to get Matty Ligt on the board. So they're also, you know, doing a very, very good business. But I still think Paul Pogba wants to make the move to Real Madrid. Paul Pogba did have 4 good years in Turin and all that. He exceeded expectation levels, but he hasn't really replicated this, you know, since he did make the return to Manchester United. Obviously, we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, you know, since he rejoined Manchester United in 2016, he scored 31 goals in 135 games for the club. Obviously, you know, last season his stats were very impressive. I think he played 47 games last season in all competitions, scored 16 goals and provided 11 assists. And obviously with Manchester United, he's won the Europa League and the League Cup. And of course that came in his second season with Manchester United. Obviously, you know, Paul Pogba still got 2 years left in his contract with an option to extend it by a further year. Obviously reports came out the other week saying that we was willing to offer Paul Pogba a long-term contract, you know, worth up to around 500 grand a week, you know, to convince him to remain at the football club. And he did actually say that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wanted to offer him the vice captaincy again, you know, try and convince Paul Pogba to remain at the football club. But we do know how much of an imperative player he is in. But I think if we sell him, it will help us with our rebuilding process. It definitely, you know, will help us with our transition. But it's confirmed he has gone on tour with the rest of the Manchester United squad and all that. But I still believe, you know, he's going to be leaving the football club as his agent, you know, Mini Raiola, of course, as you know, currently confirmed. But I think Paul Pogba's, like I said, Paul Pogba's first choice preference has been, you know, Real Madrid for quite some time. The Juventus director, you know, recently said though of how much, you know, Juventus, you know, do love Paul Pogba and all that. Juventus, I think, did say they were willing to offer us a couple of their players, you know, for Paul Pogba. It said they were willing to offer us Paul Dybala. They were also willing to offer us Alexandro and all that. But yeah, you know, we have put a huge price tag on Paul Pogba, and this is a stumbling block at the moment of him making his move to Real Madrid or, of course, to Juventus. But like I said, you know, with the money we do generate from for his departure anyway, you know, we could get around probably at least 2 players there with that money, you know, we do generate from him, because we'll definitely, you know, get over £100 million for Paul Pogba. But like I said, if Paul Pogba, you know, does go to Real Madrid, you know, Bale, you know, could be still possibly, you know, a part of the deal. Even though Bale's agent, you know, recently did confirm that Bale's got no intentions of leaving Real Madrid. But good replacements for Paul Pogba. I think Bruno Fernandes is definitely one of them. Obviously, we do know there's been a lot of talks going on about Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. Now, he reportedly said... A lot of reports said last week that reportedly, you know, we'd identified Saul Niguez as our number 1 target and all that. You know, this is what it basically said. And I think Manchester United may, you know, look to trigger his release clause and all that. Obviously, he's gonna cost you a substantial amount. You know, Saul Niguez, because his release clause is around £135 million. I do believe Manchester United have touched base with Saul Niguez's representatives over the possible move to Old Trafford this summer. Saul Niguez is only 24 years of age. Obviously hasn't played in the Premier League as yet. Obviously I think he has spent the majority of his career with Atletico Madrid, or the entirety of his career should I say, with Atletico Madrid. Obviously, you know, graduated from their youth system and all that, you know, went on to make over 200 odd appearances for Atletico Madrid since, you know, he risen up from the youth academy and all that. And I think, yeah, like I said, his release clause is around £135 million. Obviously he's got around is he still under contract with Atletico Madrid till 2026? I think a couple of years ago, you know, Saul Niguez, you know, did sign a 9-year contract with Atletico Madrid and all that. I think he plays a central or a defensive midfielder. So do you believe he would be the right solution for Manchester United? But he's going to cost a substantial amount, because I think Atletico Madrid are reluctant to offload him. I think they're only willing to do business, of course, if his release clause is triggered. So we may be orchestrating on selling Pogba and then generating the funds for Paul Pogba's departure, and then putting them funds on Saul Niguez from Atletico Madrid. But he has still got a hell of a lot of development in him. I think he's also been previously linked to move to Manchester City as Saul Niguez. But Manchester United have made contact, with his current representatives over possibly, making a move to Manchester United this summer. So do you believe he would be a good, adequate replacement for Paul Pogba? Youri Tielemans, I'd say now he's totally out of the equation. Is Youri Tielemans, obviously he's closing in on the move to Leicester. So I'd definitely say Youri Tielemans is out of the equation. James Maddison, I think the vast majority of Manchester United fans, would like to see James Maddison come in again. Very, very good player, James Maddison, proven in the Premier League, can create chances, can score goals, can provide. Only 22 years of age, primarily an attacking midfielder. So again, I think James Maddison, would be a good, solution for Manchester United. Obviously, his debut season in the Premier League was last season, with Leicester. Created more chances than any other player in the Premier League last season did James Maddison. Also was involved in 14 goals. He's got 4 years left on his contract with Leicester. I think he did allegedly say at one point, he was interested in making a move to Manchester United, but he did say he had reservations about joining the club because obviously, we're not in a Champions League football for next season and all that. We're not in a Champions League football for next season and all that. So he did say he's got reservations about joining the club. Leicester did pay around £20 million for his services from Norwich last summer. So yeah, I'd love, James Maddison, to definitely come in. I'd love him, to definitely come in. Give you some more news in regards to Sean Longstaff from Newcastle, because obviously there has been a lot of talk, about him, currently going on. But now we may have I think now it could be sceptical, to be quite honest with Sean Longstaff, making his move to Manchester United, because a lot of reports were reflecting out last week now saying that Newcastle have indicated out that Sean Longstaff is not for sale. And it did say, Sky Sports News had been informed saying that, he's going to cost Manchester United around £50 million at least. Because I do believe this is what Newcastle want at least for Sean Longstaff and all that. So basically, Newcastle are reluctant to offload him. It did report out from Sky Sports, and they basically said that Manchester United are preparing, we are preparing to put our first formal offering for Sean Longstaff and all that. At the first, Newcastle valued him at around 25 or 30 million pounds and all that. But now reportedly, it says Newcastle want at least around £50 million for his services. Obviously, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is instructed, Manchester United, to get a deal completed, for Sean Longstaff and all that. Because obviously, he wants to get Sean Longstaff on the board. But now with Newcastle's hefty price tag, we could withdraw our interest in Sean Longstaff, and definitely, not with £50 million. I think initially we had been given a boost in our pursuit of Sean Longstaff following the departure of Rafa Benitez. Because I think actually, Sean Longstaff, flourished under Rafa Benitez's guidance and all that. And I think, Sean Longstaff, was keen to stay with Newcastle under Rafa Benitez's guidance and continue his developing process with Newcastle and all that. But I think there's been a bit of change of scenery since Rafa Benitez currently resigned. Obviously last season was Sean Longstaff's first season in the senior squad with Newcastle. I think he made his debut in December of last year, and I think he played around 11 games last season. I think he did sign a new long-term contract with Newcastle, so he is under contract with them until 2022. I think he did sign his new long-term contract back in December. Obviously, began his career with Newcastle. I still believe he's regaining full fitness, of course, because obviously he's still recovering to full fitness, should I say, because obviously he sustained a knee ligament injury back in March. Obviously, so he didn't play the last couple of months of last season, due to this injury he had currently sustained. Now he's also had loan spells with Kilmarnock and Blackpool as currently Sean Longstaff. I do believe Manchester United have been in negotiation with Newcastle over coming to an agreement on a fee for the current player and all that. But now reportedly Newcastle have said they want at least £50 million. He did reportedly say we are prepared to put a bid in of around £30 million, but I don't think this is going to be enough to convince Newcastle to currently offload him. He has got a bit of experience under his belt as Sean Longstaff. He's only very, very young, you know. He's 21 years of age. I think he's primarily a central midfielder. But like I said, if he does come to Manchester United, I think I'm very, very sceptical about him getting straight into the first team. And the difference is with Bruno Fernandes, you know, he'll be assured, you know, to get straight into the first team, because obviously Bruno Fernandes is obviously, you know, more of an experience there than Sean Longstaff. But I think if we pay 50 million for Sean Longstaff, that's going to be bad business from the club, and it's also going to be a bad business for Med Buddy, because there's no way, you know, that Sean Longstaff is worth 50 million pounds. So basically, they've priced him out of the market. You know, the Newcastle have priced him out of the market because they don't want to lose him. Obviously, Newcastle have just lost Perez, obviously, you know, to Leicester and all that. But yeah, there has been a hell of a lot of talk, you know, going on about Sean Longstaff. But Solskjaer did say he wanted a deal completed for him last week. But Newcastle said towards the back end of last week, you know, they want £50 million reportedly. So, like I said, you know, there's been so many midfielders on our current agenda and all that. But we need to get two new additions in that current midfield. So yeah, there is a lot to address in the squad, and as I did give you the breaking news yesterday with regards to David De Gea, very, very good news indeed. It reportedly said that David De Gea has agreed a contract worth £350,000 a week. Obviously, you know, this will make him the highest paid goalkeeper in the world and all that. So this is very, very good news. It did say there was breakthrough in negotiations, you know, between Manchester United and David De Gea's agent George Mendes and all that. But like I said, you know, I think he's set to sign a new 5-year deal, so he's going to take him under contract until 2024 with Manchester United, which is very, very good news. But I said, you know, we've been in talks of getting David De Gea a new contract at least for the last 18 or 19 months. But obviously, you know, there hadn't been a breakthrough in negotiations, because obviously for a very long time, you know, we was not willing to meet David De Gea's wage demands and all that. Was not willing to meet his wage demands. This is why, you know, we hadn't come to an agreement to get him a current new contract. It does allegedly say, you know, I've had 300 grand a week for him on the table, you know, since the turn of the year. But obviously, you know, £300,000 a week is obviously, you know, £50,000, you know, less, you know, than what currently, you know, David De Gea is currently demanding. So I think now the club have come to an agreement, you know, to meet what he's currently demanding. Obviously, David De Gea on his current deal at the moment, he's got a year left on it, and I think he's on around 200 grand a week. So he's going to get around £150,000 pay rise. Obviously, it's going to make also David De Gea, you know, one of the highest paid players at the club, alongside Alexis Sanchez and all that. So I'm very, very delighted that he is going to be signing new contracts. He has agreed to sign his £350,000 a week contract, and it's going to be a 5-year deal, which is very, very good news. But like I said, De Gea is imperative for Manchester United. You know, he's been at the club 8 years. He's been a long serving here. You know, he has made over 300 appearances for the club in all competitions. You know, he's won everything here domestically. You know, he has been here since the Alex Ferguson era. Obviously, we got him from Atletico Madrid, you know, back in 2011. But I don't think he's done much on his 8-year period at Manchester United. I know he made cost of mistakes towards the back end of last season, but obviously that was mainly to do with the contractual situation. Obviously, actually, no reports that came out. Was it about was it 3-4 weeks ago now, saying that reportedly he turned down our final contract offer, and at that point, you know, it was looking very imminent that David De Gea was going to be leaving the club. Obviously, he was heavily linked with a move to PSG. He did say PSG, you know, were willing to pay around £60 million for his services. Obviously, you know, PSG lost Buffon, so initially said they stepped their interest up in David De Gea. I think PSG now, it did allegedly say, have got their attentions more on Donnarumma from AC Milan. Obviously, we do know Real Madrid have been linked with David De Gea for a number of years. Obviously, you know, Real Madrid were on the brink of getting him in 2015, but due to the fax machine, the deal never materialised. I think also, you know, Juventus were in there for him. But David De Gea is 28 years of age, and he's had a fantastic career with Manchester United. What? Yeah. Alright. He's had a fantastic career with Manchester United. 28 years of age, and he's still got a hell of a lot of development minimum and all that. But still only 20 years of age. It's good that he's committing his long-term future with Manchester United and all that. So we do now know he's going to be staying at the club. Obviously, as I forgot to mention on my video I did about it yesterday, actually, that we've also last week we give Andres Pereira and XL Tuanzebe new deals as well. We've also given Juan Mata a 2-year deal with an option to extend it by 5 years. So we do know Juan Mata's staying. Obviously, you know, we give Smalling Jones new long-term contracts, which was bad business for Manchester United. Martial signed a new 5-year deal back in January. Obviously, we give Ashley Young a new 1-year extension. Obviously, it's confirmed last week. You know, we give Marcus Rashford a new 4-year deal, I think, with an option to extend it by a further year. We're firm around 300 grand a week. So that is very, very good news indeed. And I did say if David De Gea was going to leave the club, but at one point it was looking very imminent. We did need to get a goalkeeper, you know, to currently replace him, because I did say Sergio Mary's not reliable enough yet to become our #1 goalkeeper. Dean Henderson, with him, I think he needs to gain a bit more experience. I think he had been on loan with Sheffield United, but very, very good news about David De Gea and all that. So that's mainly everything to update today, but the main part of this video was to give you the latest news about Matthijs de Ligt from Ajax. Like I said, I think it's looking very likely that Juventus are going to be getting him. His agent Mariola said, you know, that his client, you know, wants to make the move to Juventus and his preference is Juventus, and he's also said that Juventus, he's agreed personal terms with Juventus. He's agreed a 5-year contract with around, I think, £10.7 million every season, but no fee has yet come to an agreement, you know, between Juventus and Ajax and all that. So that is the stumbling block at the moment of Matthijs de Ligt making his move to Ajax. Making his move to Juventus. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do consider subscribe, as always, and take care. God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.